That's me. Still me. Hi, I want to first thank Kathy, Eric, and Casey for inviting me to present tonight. I represent what's next for Philadelphia, a new resident who discovered that Philadelphia is underrated. Philly has not done a good job of telling its story. Its story includes its storied jazz heritage. All that Philly jazz stems from Music Hack Day, a music-related hackathon at Drexel. We are mapping Philadelphia's jazz heritage from bebop to hip-hop. In most, the prototype for the app was developed by Mark Head, the former chief data officer. In most cities, hackathon projects don't survive the weekend. Philadelphia has a vibrant civic hacking culture where hackers sustain their projects. One project that began at the National Day of Civic Hacking is now on Philly 311. The city has embraced the hackathon culture with the new Innovation Lab. I was there for the first time last night with Code for Philly, the hackathon that never ends. With the Innovation Lab, city workers will come together and collaborate and solve problems using technology. What's next for Philly is the increased use of technology to solve problems. Problems like homelessness, ex-felon reentry, and transit. Both the Philly bike share medallions that you might have seen around the city and the Family Interrupted mural were designed with the Mural Arts program. John Coltrane moved to Philadelphia at the age of 16. In 1952, he bought this house in Strawberry Mansion, where he lived with his mother, aunt, and his cousin Mary. For most folks, Philadelphia's jazz legacy begins and ends with John Coltrane. To be sure, Coltrane is a giant part of the story, but the map tells the rest of the story. Coltrane's house on 33rd Street was 1 block away from the jazz scene on Columbia Avenue. During Philly's jazz heyday, there were 3 jazz corridors: North Philly's Columbia Avenue, now Cecil B. Moore, South Street, and West Philly's 52nd Street. Then as now, Philadelphia was territorial, but there were 2 legendary clubs that no matter where folks lived, they were the place to be. One was the Showboat, located in the Douglas Hotel, in the basement of the Douglas Hotel. The historical marker out front notes that Billie Holiday often lived here. Jazz spots fell victim to the 1964 race riots and urban renewal. There were few remaining structures. The few remaining structures include the Pyramid Club, the Met, the Brotherhood Hotel, and the Uptown Theater. The Pyramid Club played host to, among others, Duke Ellington. The Downbeat Club is still there, at least for now. The building it was housed in may be endangered. It's across from East Market, which, as you probably know, held this groundbreaking last week. In its heyday, the Downbeat broke new ground as the first racially integrated jazz club in Center City. Philly Joe Jones was a drummer. Long before he became the drummer of choice for John Coltrane and Miles Davis, he was a trolley car operator. He was among the first group of black trolley car operators hired after the 1944 transit strike. Ironically, his route took him past the Downbeat and Coltrane's apartment on North 12th Street. The Lincoln Theater was at Broad and Lombard. It's now in a parking lot with unsightly air monitoring equipment. But imagine what's next for Philly is to move beyond the historical marker and personalize the tourist experience with mobile technology and low-cost mobile art. The Lincoln Theater was the gateway to the Harlem Quarter, where Pep's was located at Broad and South. No matter where one lived in the city, one had to go to Pep's on New Year's Eve. The World Communications Charter School is now there. The Roots mural is on one of its walls, from bebop to hip-hop. With few structures remaining, Philadelphia's jazz history largely resides in the memories of those who were there. So to preserve the legacy for future generations, all that Philly jazz is crowdsourced. We will collaborate with Philly Rising to organize events where community members will be invited to share their photos and stories. All that Philly Jazz is at the intersection of technology, art, and civic engagement. Philly residents can share their stories and photos about the jazz scene back in the day on our website or our mobile app powered by EC. The free app is available on the Apple Store and Google Play. There are more than 40,000 vacant lots in Philadelphia. The city spends millions of dollars every year on littering us. All that Philly Jazz is an innovative solution that will help address the #1 problem reported to Philly 311, littering and illegal dumping. Back in the day, this stretch of Cecil B. Moore was lined with jazz spots: Watts Zanzibar, Mickey's Playhouse, Race Bar, Little Harlem Cafe, and the Cotton Club, to name a few. This strip was part of North Philly's Miracle Mile. Today, it's a miracle if you see anything other than a vacant lot. All that Philly Jazz will transform those vacant spaces into vibrant places. The community will be able to reimagine the land as what it used to be, a community asset. Studies show that people are less likely to litter a place to which they feel connected and a sense of belonging. This fence told the story of Union 274, the Clef Club. It was placed there when its current location was under construction. The photo of Lenora Early, founder of the John Coltrane House of Philadelphia, and Fuji, founder of the John Coltrane House of Osaka, was taken outside the former location. What's next for Philly? To transform, to move beyond Ben Franklin's Philadelphia to John Coltrane's Philadelphia. John Coltrane being a metaphor for a place that's innovative, where people want to live, visit, invest, and where long-term residents have more pride. Thank you.